have our next driver on the show. He was just on the pole in Charlotte for the ARCA series last Friday in a 69 Ford for Kimmel Racing. Will Kimmel, appreciate you calling on to the show, Will.
Yeah, appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, of course. Of course, you're no stranger to the ARCA series, running Kansas and Charlotte so far this year, but this was your first pole since 2017 at the DuQuoin State Fairgrounds. What did the pole mean to you and your family-run team?
That's huge, with who we're racing against in the ARCA series, and the money behind those teams with the technology and stuff that they have. It's big. I was pretty happy to be able to back up our practice time. We just work really, really hard and do the things that we know to do and try to stay in our realm of knowledge and understanding on the cars, and it's helping. We need to keep going to the races and keep backing that up with more and more knowledge and information and notes, and I think we can get better.
Gotcha. Appreciate you touching on that. I'm sure Friday was a roller coaster of emotions, but when the green flag dropped in Charlotte, what was your mindset, and how was it feeling leading laps?
Full send. Get away from the 18.
Gotcha.
Because they're fast, man. Like the 18 and the 28, if you've been watching in the ARCA races.
Yeah.
It's the 18 or the 28 and then the rest. So it's just, those guys have phenomenal long run speed. And I didn't. I kind of knew that I didn't, but I didn't care. I was just going to run it. I was going to run it in the ground and try to make it to lap 50 and then fix whatever I needed to fix and go after it again.
Gotcha. Sounds like you were ready to go. Your day didn't go as planned. You mentioned on the broadcast that you thought it was a broken valve spring that ended your day. Have you and your team had more time to look into that since Friday?
Valve springs are good. I can't find a lifter right now, so that's not ideal. Obviously, a lifter is part of the valve train that rides on the cam, and I had a push rod sitting up next to a rocker arm. So luckily, we didn't drop the push rod, and the rocker arm kind of caught it, and it was off to the side. So I'm not sure if we had a cam failure or a lifter failure at this point, but it's going to be one or the other.
Okay, gotcha. Appreciate you going over that. Hopefully it's not too bad of a fix. With Kansas and Charlotte not ending as planned, as a driver, how do you regroup for the rest of the season? And when will we see you back in the ARCA seat?
Well, so Kansas, we were only planning to start in park. So I was just going out there strictly to gear up more myself for Charlotte, because the intermediates, you almost run wide open at those places now.
Okay.
The way you drive the car is extremely unnatural. So I was going out there and just to take care of Miguel. We wanted to make sure that he had a good night, which he did. Finished 11th. Well, our next venture will be probably for myself. Will probably be Salem in the ARCA car right now. We've got some things that are going to come out next week about some races that we got going on with another driver that we'll announce shortly. But that's the plan right now.
Okay. All right. Gotcha. Last question. I'm a big supporter and fan of local track, short track racing. Not to age you, but you've been racing at Salem for a long time with numerous track championships. What has Salem meant to you in your career? And what's your current take on the pulse of short track racing?
Man, Salem's just always been special. I was being shoved around there inside a tire when I was like 3 years old in the infield, So, tons of laps there. My grandpa went over the wall in a sprint car in '63, and he was one of the few to survive that ordeal. He was actually supposed to go to the 500 the next month and didn't do it because he broke both his arms doing that. So Salem is lots of ups and downs, but that is such a special place to me. And the biggest thing with short tracks right now, and Salem is fighting it bad right now. They're trying to find a way to get the cost out of their street stock division, and that's their main thing up there. So that's the biggest thing they're fighting is tire cost. It's $750 for a set, and as abrasive and fast as that track is, you cannot get away from putting a new set on every night, and that just gets really expensive for your weekly racing guys. So that's something that they're working on. I think that's fair to say for most of short track racing is just the cost in general. So hopefully there's an answer to that for them. But aside from that, that's some of the best racing you'll see.
10-4. Agree myself. Appreciate you touching on that. Thank you so much for your time, Will. Hope to talk to you before the end of the season.
Okay, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
See you.